Are you tired of feeling like no matter what you do in your business, you just have not reached that level of success of where you want to be? Maybe you've actually even identified that there are internal beliefs that are standing in your way, or maybe you haven't quite got to that yet. Maybe you are just constantly still chasing your next solution and you are coming up against the same block every single time. And now you're like, oh, I don't know what's next. So you're willing to look at the fact that your block could be internal. It could be, like we said in last week's episode, a you problem. Much love. If that resonates, if you are a coach or a healer, a female led service based business owner, or any entrepreneur really who is not at the level of success where you want to be right now, that you imagine that your business should be at, with all of the effort that you are putting in, if you are struggling to stay in your own lane and not compare yourself to where other people are on their journey, this episode is for you. My name is Jessica. I am an alternative therapist, holistic business mentor, and welcome to Alive and Thriving. Now, if this resonates with you, we are going to today be looking at three powerful shifts that you can make within yourself, within your beliefs, and within your thought patterns that are really going to help you to overcome these challenges that we were just speaking about, to really help you to master your internal world. And if you want to go deeper on these shifts with me, you can register for my free masterclass. It is linked in the show notes at inspiredlifecollective.com.au/mindset, and come and actually identify within yourself what beliefs are holding you back so that you can find where it is that you are sabotaging. And then you have choice as to whether or not you do something about it. So, the mindset shifts that we are going to talk about now are really going to be like core foundational shifts for you to really truly master and practice mastering these. When you have neutrality from these things, you are going to have a whole different experience in business. If you are wanting to be more confident, if you are wanting to increase your resilience, because business is hard. It is hard for everyone, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's have a look at the first shift that I will talk about today, and that is the fact that you have probably very likely been looking for external solutions. You've been looking for more strategy. You have been looking for more time. You have been looking for more money. You have been looking for more ways that you can bring external things into your business that are going to quote unquote fix the problem. But ultimately, you keep coming up against the same blocks. Okay. So if this is you, if this is something that you are resonating with, the shift that you really need to make here is to look at what is going on internally for me. That is the mindset shift. The mindset shift is that your external world is a mirror to your internal world. And if you do not have the capacity yet to hold what it is that you are calling in, the level of success that you want to be bringing in, if you have beliefs that don't actually serve that. So if you have beliefs that are like, oh, no, I can't be successful, success is hard, I have to work so many hours in order to be successful, and that's going to then lead to me sacrificing time with my family. If you have these beliefs deep down, if you do not believe that you have the capacity, that the number that your conscious mind is telling you that you want to earn, if you don't deep down believe that is actually possible for you, then it's not going to happen. So, your strategy is so important. It absolutely is. If you cannot master your emotions and master your internal world so that you can actually be the woman who implements that strategy from a neutral place where you are not taking your unsubscribes personally, where you are not looking at the fact that no one is downloading something that you've put out and, oh my God, I must be a terrible coach, or my business is never going to be successful. Or you are trying to balance, working. Like I know so many coaches and healers who are in the first few years of their business, they're still working in their jobs and they're trying to run their business and they're upset their business is not where they want it to be yet. But because their attention is so pulled in so many different directions, there hasn't actually been like a focused strategy plan that has been implemented in the business. It's just been doing bits and pieces. This is not to say you cannot create a successful business in a small amount of time while you're working full time, because you can. This is to say that what I see is that people are not being strategic enough, focused enough, or intentional enough. And then when they show up on Facebook for a few weeks or Instagram and then they disappear and then they come back and then they disappear, or they run a couple of dollars into ads hoping to get some clients on the weekends and that doesn't work, they form this story that their business is not going to work and that maybe it's easier just to stay in their 9 to 5. And the thing is, that is not true. Their time and attention and their energy are being focused on the wrong thing. It is exactly the same for you if you are putting out things as an established business and it is not getting traction. Does not mean that you are not good at what you do or that you will not get the results that you want to get. It simply means that we need to be able to look at the data. We need to look at the analytics. We need to be able to look at what is happening to make tweaks, to play around with messaging. I'm still playing around with different ad audiences, with messaging, like until you nail it, until you really truly nail it. And even then, you probably shift, your offer probably shifts, and then you've got to go and nail it again. So the thing is that we never stop learning. And if we go and take that personally, every single time something doesn't work, then we are going to be overrun with the challenging emotions and they're going to feel so big and so hard. And the story, the narrative within your mind is going to be so loud and you're going to be so frustrated. And then maybe your family will chime in as well because they're seeing you frustrated. They're also seeing your business not moving forward in the way that you want it to. And then you'll be like, okay, it's just easier. I'll just get a job, and you give up on what you really truly want to be doing. And that is not a good outcome unless that's the outcome that you really truly want. So number 1, the first shift to make is within you. Do I need to keep looking externally for the solution? Or is it that I actually need to do some more work inside of me so that I can actually hold the beliefs and then beliefs about yourself, beliefs about money, beliefs about time, beliefs about business. These are all things, beliefs about how to run your business differently as an entrepreneur who is trying to create a values driven business, maybe in pockets of time or maybe in intentional pockets of time, right? You want to be spending more time traveling or with your family or just having you days. Like, how awesome is that? So, you're trying to do less in more time. And if you cannot hold a belief system that allows you to emotionally detach from the challenges and recognize the autopilot behaviors that you are bringing in and to operate your business differently than you would show up in your traditional job, then you need to start looking within. So that is the first shift that I invite you to look at. Stop blaming external factors because the truth is that any of them could probably work. Maybe they're not going to be as, what do you call it, strengths led for you. Maybe based on your human design, maybe based on your season of life, your values, all of the things that come into building a strengths driven business. Like we talk about this in the mastermind that I run, the Transcendence Mastermind. That is a big core pillar of what we are working towards, a strengths driven business. Because any of these strategies could work, but it's going to be a matter of you finding what actually works for you. And if you haven't mastered your internal world, then that's going to be really hard, because what also comes along with being able to respond rather than react, and being able to become aware when your sabotaging behaviors are coming in, and become aware when your autopilot behaviors are coming in, which, by the way, all of this deep work we do in the Embodied Entrepreneur Program. Oh, it is such a powerful program for coaches, healers, service based businesses who are soul led, who are impact driven, course creators, digital entrepreneurs. If you want to build the confidence, the resilience, the self belief, the authority, the beliefs around time and money, then that program is where you need to be. Just saying. So, really, when you look at this, it's not only about those things, but it's also about having the safety in your body to be able to sit in those discomforts and not make them mean anything as well. So, for you to be doing this internal work, for you to be able to then feel more confident to show up authentically, to show up and speak it's to the things that you truly believe in, to the things that really truly matter to you, that is all going to have such an impact on who you're bringing into your world, how much satisfaction you are getting with your job, and also being able to even recognize if the strategy that you are implementing is right for you or not, because your body is continually communicating with you. And if you are not tuned in, if you are not self aware, if you are not always trying to learn and understand what this messaging means, then you're going to miss it. And you're going to just run an autopilot business that is going to lead to probably a lot of discomfort. It is going to lead to a lot of doing and maybe getting nowhere, or doing and getting somewhere, but getting somewhere in a very misaligned way that actually causes you to burn out. Now, I really feel like burnout is something that is spoken about. I think the word is actually thrown around a lot now. I really, truly do. And as somebody who has worked in the alternative therapy space, helping the most amazing entrepreneurs recover from burnout, recover from what has been years in the making, years of their business taking too much from them, years of them having boundaries that were not tight enough to keep their energy protected, years of implementing strategies that did not actually suit their energy, that did not align with their core values and what it is they wanted to create in their business. These women were highly successful on paper. They had the teams, the money, they had the client base, they had all of those things, but they were not coping inside. And for some, that has led to such a place of burnout that it has then meant a series of really severe health issues. It has then meant for some actually having to step away from the business to be able to prioritize themselves. Okay. So you can see that burnout is not just it's not just what do we call it? Like a buzzword. It's not just a buzzword. It can so severely impact you. And it is such a long recovery for your nervous system. And you think I've taken a couple of months off, I should be healed from my burnout. It doesn't work like that when you have been operating from the space of misalignment for years and years and years. So mastering your internal world is so important. I just can't stress it enough. It is so important. So that is the shift number one. Stop looking externally and start looking more internally, and you will see shifts in your business. You will see growth. So now, as we go into point number two, and this is where I'm really going to ask you and encourage you, and if you can master this, oh my gosh, challenge your limiting beliefs. Business is hard for everybody. It really, truly is. But it is how you handle those challenges, how your internal world, that's why that's step one, how your internal world shows up to those challenges, how the meaning that you attach to it, all of this is going to determine whether or not you stick it through those challenges. It is also going to determine whether or not those challenges completely derail you in your business, or whether or not you get to meet the challenge, go through the challenge, learn from the challenge, level up from the challenge, and then build your tolerance and capacity for the next challenge. Resilience is such an underrated skill in business. And it is one that really comes from, first of all, practice. Okay. Resilience really is a muscle to be built. And second of all, comes from mastering your internal world. Oh, there she goes again. So that you are not making unnecessary meaning, attaching unnecessary emotion to outcomes that, again, you are making personal, because none of it is supposed to be personal. Your business is your tool to give you the life that you want to have. And yes, you might love your business so much that when it comes to a work life balance, and if you're listening, I said that with inverted commas, like work life balance, then maybe it is like 80% work because you love it and it's 20% something else. But if you are doing this in a way that is healthy, if you are doing this in a way that aligns with the things that you value, that is supportive of your nervous system, and you're doing this because it is fun and it's expansive and you absolutely love what you're doing, that is very different to being tied into a business that is running you, that you feel like you need to be constantly doing more and more with. I had a really interesting conversation with someone the other day, and she was saying, first of all, we were working on the fact that she didn't have the amount of clients in her business that she wants to have. She has space for a certain amount of weeks. She's about half at capacity. And then a couple of breaths later, she's telling me how busy she is, how she doesn't have time to implement this strategy or to do this work because she's so busy. And I just said, hang on a minute. We need to clarify something here, because one breath you told me that you want more clients. You have all this space in your calendar for more clients. And then the second breath, you've just told me that you are too busy to be doing things that could move your needle forward, to be reaching out to people, to be following up, to be taking sales calls. So if you are too busy for that, but you have space for clients, what are you doing? What are you actually doing in your day? What are the things? Because I guarantee that you have told yourself that there are things that are important and things that you should be doing that actually are not moving your needle forward whatsoever. And quite often this comes from this real discomfort of sitting stagnant. It comes from this discomfort of not performing, of not being quote unquote good enough. It comes from this belief that we need to be this like high achieving, high performing. We need to be perceived as being busy. And it's a conditioning that you are carrying. And so for you to be able to actually challenge those beliefs that come up starts with step one. So you have the awareness of them, and then challenge those beliefs so that when they do come up, the I'm too busy, am I? Because actually my calendar's only half full. Or actually, I'm not even seeing clients. So what the hell am I busy doing? What am I busy doing? Am I busy doing something that is actually going to move my needle forward? And if you don't know what that is, then please find a mentor to help you and listen to them. Listen, yes, bring your own ideas in, but listen, because if somebody tells you that the things that you are doing are not going to be actually bringing in clients for you, and bringing in clients is your number one goal, please listen. I only work with people who are open and coachable. So I encourage you to look at your own beliefs around that as well. Will I allow somebody else's opinion or somebody else's experience to help guide my business? Am I open and coachable? When you have things come up in your business, identify the belief and challenge it. If something feels limiting for you, what story are you holding? What are you telling yourself? Identify that and challenge it. Does that have to be the reality? I don't have enough time. Is that actually true? Or am I just not intentionally focusing my time and being really intentional about how I use it. You get to challenge your beliefs. Just because you've always believed them, just because they are something that have always been a part of you, does not mean that they are fact. It does not mean they are true. It does not mean that they are the word that you have to live by. You get to challenge them if those beliefs are not serving the direction that you are going. And it is really easy to actually identify if you have limiting beliefs to challenge. You simply look at, am I where I want to be right now? Am I having the outcomes that I want to be having? And if I'm not, what is going on within me that could potentially be blocking that? Your beliefs will shape your reality. That is a fact. And so it is so important for you to be able to, first of all, recognize them, have the awareness, have that connection to your internal guidance system so that you can recognize them. And two, challenge them. And now I'm going to talk about number 3, the third mindset shift for you to practice mastering. And that is to, first of all, come out of victim mode. And second of all, implement self compassion to yourself. Whatever is going on in your world right now, whatever has led you to where you are, your life experiences, your challenges, your traumas, the the failures from the past, have self compassion to meet yourself where you are currently at. If you are sitting in a victim mindset, oh, she's more successful than me because she has all the time in the world. She gets to work on her business full time while I have a part time, while I'm part time because of my job. She gets to build her business full time while I have the pockets of nap time. It's easy for her because she's had all these years experience. It's easy for her because she's got all this money. Whatever victim mentality, this is coming back to stop blaming external circumstances. Whatever victim mentality you are bringing into your business, it needs to go. It needs to go. You need to take radical responsibility for where you are right now, the season of life that you are in, and what you are bringing with you into that. And what you are bringing with you into that gets to be met and potentially healed or worked through when we come back to the very first mindset shift of let's look internal instead of external. But as we look at this, I want you to look at, where am I blaming external circumstances? Where am I telling myself this repeated narrative that it's harder for me because of something that I perceive somebody else has, or because I have lack of this, or because she's got of course her podcast's better. She's got a more expensive microphone than me. Look at the things you are telling yourself. Look at these and make the mindset shift into taking radical responsibility for where you are now, and practice that and meet yourself with compassion. Your life experiences, even if you have not found any purpose in them yet, and I know I have been through myself so much trauma, grief, and all sorts of experiences to make me really question, like, oh God, how could there be a lesson in that? But the thing is that the way that you show up to your challenges, that is the lesson. The way that you come out the other side of your challenges, that is where the growth happens. That is where the lesson happens. And so it's not she has it better than me because she had a different upbringing, because she's not experienced these trauma, because all of these reasons and stories that you are telling yourself as to why you are justifying in your mind as to why you're not where you want to be. No, stop now and take radical responsibility. If there are things within you to heal, then when you are ready, start that process. If there are things in your reality that you don't like, change them. If there are things that you perceive are blocking you, then look at how you can either move forward through them or how you can make changes. But you start taking radical responsibility right now for where you are at, and meeting yourself with kindness and compassion for all of the things that you are bringing in, for the season of life that you are currently in. And then you sit in that and then you build your business, meeting yourself where you are at now with the resources that you have, with the energy that you have, with the nervous system health that you have. There was an episode a couple of weeks back, hustle to the health of your nervous system. I really stand by that. So to recap, we are first of all shifting from, oh, I just hit the microphone. I don't know if you heard that. We are shifting from blaming external factors and looking within. We are shifting from taking our beliefs as core truth and just rolling with it and allowing ourselves to keep getting knocked down by the same challenges and the same emotions and the same thoughts, to taking ownership of those and challenging them if they're not serving us. And we are shifting from being in a victim mindset. And it's so funny. So many people, when you speak about a victim mindset, people feel really attacked by that, I've noticed. So if you are feeling attacked by that right now, by me saying, oh, if you're doing this, you have a victim mindset, then use that as awareness. Use that uncomfortable sensation in your body where you feel attacked as awareness. Because if you feel attacked by that, then you likely are in a victim mindset. And I'm sorry, but that's just true. So we are just going to use that as awareness, because the third shift is to shift into radical responsibility. And I promise you, the women that you see who are building these successful businesses, whose clients' calendars are full, who are putting offers out, who are bringing new people into their world, who are selling out their offers. They are there doing that because earlier on in their journey, they have mastered these mindsets. Now, I have these, but also much deeper, along with guided self awareness for you to actually recognize where you are sabotaging yourself in my free masterclass. So I want you to go into the link now. No matter when you are listening to this, you'll either be able to join me on the next live, or you'll be able to catch a replay depending on when you're listening to this. I want you to go and register for that masterclass now. Because if you are not currently where you want to be in your business, if you are laying awake at night wondering why people are unsubscribing, oh, it must be me, why you are losing members and taking it personally, if you are, questioning your pricing, if you are struggling with the thoughts in your head, if you are feeling that business is so overwhelming for you that you should go and get a real 9 to 5, a real job, whatever you want to say. I believe, by the way, that what we are doing is a real job, but I understand the narrative. If you are in that space right now, then we need to start mastering your internal world. I want you to stop looking for another Reels course. I want you to stop Googling how to find a sugar daddy to fund your Facebook ads. You do not need that right now, because what is the point in running ads if you do not believe that you can even hold the amount of money that you want those ads to bring in? Or you believe you are too busy for the clients that those ads are going to bring in? What's the point? You are energetically closed for business. If you took something out of this episode, please come and tell me over on Instagram, jessica.reed.ilc. I want to hear your takeaways. You can email me, let me know which of these resonated with you and which shift are you going to implement first. And are you going to be on the masterclasses coming up? Go and check the link for the dates, and I will see you all next week. If you got something out of today's episode, please make sure to share this with a entrepreneur friend so that she too can start to master her internal world and step into the energy of success.